guys, live at G3. Ooh, you should have been here if you're not here. Anyway, just a rundown. This was just a pre-conference. 3 sessions. It's been good. But I'm thinking this is going to be very interesting, okay? My take, all of it, I did like the talk, Pastor James Coates, the things he just shared about the church, solid and wonderful. They've put out their case about Christian nationalism. So I know this is going to be a lot of fireworks, so many questions. We're waiting for the afternoon sessions. We'll be able to ask questions. I do have questions. I'm like, okay. But they put some good convincing. Some I wasn't convinced, but solid arguments. So Christian nationalism, hey, it's going down. All right, guys, stay tuned. More coming. Thank you. All right, Brother Rick, nice meeting you over here. So you've watched so far. There's been like 3 sessions.
Yes.
What do you think? What is your take?
By far and large, there's no biblical case you can make for Christian nationalism.
Wow.
I mean, what we saw was a couple of sessions. One session, the last one, I think was just phenomenal about the mission of the church, where you basically had an exegetical, grammatical breakdown of the Great Commission in Matthew 28. And you just have to be honest with the text. I think this is one of the scenarios where you have to be honest with the text and realize the text is not addressing discipling nations as a whole, as nations, but people within the nations, just dealing with the grammar. And then also considering the fact that we have the application of the Great Commissions by the very apostles themselves. They were commissioned, and we see the execution of that commission and the Acts of the Apostles. And never do you see, I think he was right on the money. This is something I've been talking about a lot.
Yes,
in Acts 24, Acts 25, Acts 26, you always see the proclamation of the gospel being at the very forefront of those discussions between governors and kings. Doesn't matter who the audience is. So, and then also just understanding of church history. Our very first session that Jeff, I believe Johnson, president of GTBS, I think that
GBTS.
GBTS, he basically showed like we have history to demonstrate that this project it doesn't work. It doesn't matter like who's leading who. Whether you have the church sponsoring, the state sponsoring and endorsing the church, whether you have the flip side of it or something in the middle, you always end up with persecution because you're really operating out of really God's design. And the thing is, the church is God's representative on earth. It's not the state. So you can't delegate that authority to any other entity. In fact, I mean, if you think about what Christ said, I'm surprised this didn't come up, but I was thinking of this. Back in Matthew 16 and also Matthew 18, Christ says, where he referenced the church in Matthew's gospel, that I've given the keys to the church to bind and loose, not the state.
Okay.
Right? You understand? So I think a lot of what we heard in these sessions helped to kind of clarify issues, and I think what was masterfully and beautifully done is that we had history on display, we had scripture, the exposition of scripture on display, and then we also had, I think what James Coates did was wonderful because he helped us to focus on the essential nature of corporate worship.
Wonderful.
And I think a lot of these things are merely distractions. Like we're getting so caught up, and God has given us in His Word everything we need. And we focus on the gospel, if we focus on the mission of the church, we don't have time for any of these other things.
Okay.
You understand? That's all I gotta say, bro.
All right. Thank you, Brother Rick.
Yeah.
There it is. You have it from Rick Caldwell, from Rick Caldwell Apologetics. More coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
All right.